Welcome to the New Discovery Christian Podcast, where you'll find Bible messaging and sermons that will encourage, uplift, and challenge you to a godlier life. Join our community and become inspired to continue living a God-directed life.
All right, welcome again to the New Discovery Podcast with me, your host, Kyle, and Zach, my co-host, and Javan, my co-host, and we're coming to you in the midst of this apocalypse right now, and our music isn't even working right now just because, everything's going out, so our music went out too. So, yeah, the zombies bit off the line.
You said the word.
Oh, I didn't I?
Demonetized.
The disease. We'll edit that out.
He can bleep out. He can bleep it out like the other podcast.
Oh my gosh!
When he bleeped out that one conversation.
Oh yeah, we can do that, can't we?
So every time we say the forbidden word that gets us no money, we bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
So
that works.
That's what we're jumping in today is the disease, and we're just going to talk about what we've experienced, stories that we've heard, and in the end, we also want to get to how can we deal with this experience right now in a wise way, and especially if you're a Christian as well. Not everyone who watches is a Christian, but if you are a Christian, we're Christian. People are seeking some message and what to do, and even if you're not a Christian, and what to do in the midst of this, and how can we be wise and not put ourselves and other people in danger, but not go to the extreme and be paranoid. We're not even doing things the CDC are even recommending, and we're just living in fear, maybe hoarding, living like we're in the apocalypse. We're playing around about it, but there's some people I've seen, and they're there.
I stocked up on 9mm ammo.
Oh, did you?
1,300 rounds in the closet.
There you go. You ready for some of those? Maybe we'll let you start off. You ready for some of those Corona zombies coming in?
I was going to ask you what y'all been doing during this virus to stay busy. I mean, what have y'all been doing what precautions have y'all? What precautions y'all been taking, and how y'all been living y'all's lives? I guess I can start.
Yeah, go ahead and start with that. I'll chime in after you.
Just obviously washing my hands more than I usually did. Like every hour or so, at least washing my hands. Obviously, before I eat, always washing my hands.
Yeah,
I got the sanitizer on deck. I work for Cintas, by the way. Hit me up if you want some hand sanitizer.
Get my merch.
We're not sponsored by them yet.
Yeah, not yet, but doing that. I'm still, hanging with a small group of friends. I'll go out and hang out with them, play some pool, that kind of thing. But as far as going out, I'm known for the elbow bump. If you see me in the street, I'll give you the elbow bump.
Yes, you do.
Yep, the elbow bump. I recommend the toe touch, little toe touch.
Whoa. I don't know
Not in the
that.
feet.
Yeah, can I do it right now with you?
No, I'm not. we ain't playing footsie on this podcast.
Yeah, it sounded like a footsie.
but no, I mean, obviously we know it's probably the end of the world, so just living it up.
Obviously, we know it's the end of the world.
I'm joking about that part.
He threw it in there.
I am joking.
No, but what you said before about the guns, that actually is key. If
that's one thing I've done too is I've tried to make sure you knew when we went to the track I had my gun on me. I showed you.
I saw that piece.
Yeah, and so
that piece.
I haven't picked up any more ammo, but I'm considering picking up some more ammo. I already have 100-something rounds, and it's a .357 Magnum, so I'm like, I'm gonna mow down like 300 zombies here soon. So
that's a strong gun, though. That'll do some damage.
Yeah, there's a couple people who want to. I guess that's the point, is that if I've told people, especially in my age, I'm not afraid to get the coronavirus, and some of the stuff with the lungs sounds pretty bad and some of the damage, but it's not like I'm going to die probably. I generally look after my health, exercise, eat healthy generally, and so I'm not afraid I'm going to die from it. But some of the fear is that the way people have reacted to this, some people, just go to the grocery store. You already know what I'm talking about. It looks like it's the apocalypse, and people are acting like it's the apocalypse. And I was talking to someone not too long ago about how, or I think it was Taylor, who cuts our hair. I think she was telling me she went to the store and she noticed this guy. He was in the meat department in the chicken section, and she said she saw him put his hand like this, like scoop the first part of the chicken aisle, And she's like, that's kind of weird.
Wait, he's
And then,
what do you mean?
like, he put his hand on the first aisle of the chicken. You know how it like goes down the entire thing. So
he didn't.
He
slide.
slid his hand.
So he put his hand there, and his cart's right next to it, and he walked down the whole thing, and all the chicken was falling into the cart. He's just walking across. And she's like, there was like 80 whole chickens in his cart. See, that right there is what's having people freak out about the toilet paper and the water. You have people like that who are going to apocalypse stage. That is 80 things a chicken is an apocalypse stage.
I hope he got salmonella. Can you get that from chicken?
Yeah, you do when it's not cooked right.
He's probably got a big deep freezer, a couple of them in his garage for doomsday.
But see, like that, and then people see that the chicken aisle's gone from one guy, and in their mind, they're like, "Oh my gosh,
Is he buying all this chicken?"
He's like, I need to buy more chicken.
right?"
It's
and
like a
now
chain
I need to
reaction.
do that. And then you have a few people doing that with certain areas, and then everyone else maybe does half of that, and then everything's gone.
Yep.
And then you have other people like normal walking in, like, "Yeah, I need like a week's worth of toilet paper or meat," and it's like, there's nothing there. And then that gets them on a little bit edge too. And they're like, should I do that? Should I not? I do need to look out for myself, but like, I don't want to be like that because then I'm contributing. So I think that's a good point of what's happening right now. There's certain people who are acting like that. And it's like, should I contribute to that apocalyptic mindset that other people are contributing? And honestly, I remember I was looking, it was the other day, they were putting out toilet paper. So we were running really close in our house. So like we're talking a roll and a half and there's 8 people in the house. That's close. And they were just putting out the toilet paper. And I remember I was thinking as they were putting it out, because I was able to grab up a lot if I wanted to right there. No one else noticed in the store. And I was like, But I remember there were those smaller rolls that have 4 in it. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of people in our house, and I'm like, how much would we usually use in a week? So I was like, 3 of those packages, that's about 8 rolls. That would be like a roll per person in a week, and that's pretty. And I was like, I could have grabbed double to triple to quadrupled that. But I was like, that's what we need in a week. And I was like, I'm going to grab those because you know what? There may be someone else who can't go to the store very often. Maybe it's an older woman or older man. They're afraid to go out very often in the grocery store. I typically go daily, even in the midst of this. And maybe that's that one time where they can get that. And what if I was that dude who just robbed all of them of that toilet paper for them? And then they're sitting there using maybe paper towels for like a week or 2 weeks already. And then, you know what I mean? And I leave them doing that.
Dude, those
for
hurt
my
the
own.
butt.
Heck
Those
yeah,
hurt.
I guarantee.
They don't flush either. They
No,
like
you're not
clog up
supposed
the
to.
toilet.
You're not supposed to put them down there.
Well, some people, what someone was saying is
the
there's
trash
that thing about using them and then putting them in the trash can and throwing it in the trash can. It's better than leaving it there.
Yeah, it's gonna smell like McDonald's in your bathroom. Then.
Yeah. So, but see, I don't want. Like, I feel like that's the thing is we should be looking out for other people. There's no toilet paper shortage. It's just a overreaction, freaking out, and that's a legitimate thing that's going on right now, and everyone's kind of in fear of, can I provide this? Can I have this?
Yeah, your instincts like kick in when like something like this happens. I feel like everybody's in like my family is first mode, and I will do what I need to do. I'll stock up. I'll be that selfish person to like get all the supplies for my family. That's kind of how I was thinking. Like honestly, I've been probably like the most selfish I've ever been right now.
Dude, I stocked up on like soup
yeah,
and
like
these little crappy meals that were like
Did you say
$1 a
poop?
piece. Soup,
Oh,
bro.
McDonald's.
I flush number 2 down. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
Did you eat it with?
Oh,
did you eat
no,
it with
you
paper
don't.
towels?
That sounds like an apocalypse in that toilet.
Hey, doomsday, baby. You
Mellow
gotta save
yellow.
water. But no, I stocked up on those little crappy $1 frozen meals. And,
Lunchables.
No, I don't know what. There's just some crap. Like, it tastes awful. It was a waste of money. But I stocked up on all this mess, and I got home, and I was like, why did I just do all this? Like, and I realized it was because everyone else was doing it. Like, it was almost like I did it for fun. I was just in there for fun, throwing stuff in the grocery cart.
Well, nobody touched the health section at Kroger. I've noticed like the muscle milk, like the vegan protein stuff, like that stuff, like could probably get you through.
Yeah.
Weight gainer. It's got all them carbs in there.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
could
right.
like, I mean, it would suck. Well, actually, it probably wouldn't suck. It tastes pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean,
calories.
You get all the calories you need. You probably wouldn't be satisfied, but
Yeah, probably not
That's
satisfied,
actually
but
the
yeah.
way to go. go get a bunch of workout supplements, camp out on a grocery store roof with that Mozambique you were we were shooting that one time.
Bro, isn't that a movie where they're on
you-
top of a grocery store?
Yeah,
Like Zombieland, something like that.
dude, that's perfect.
It's with zombies, but it's a movie where they're on top of a grocery store. It might be Resident Evil, maybe, with that chick.
It's been a while since I've seen Resident Evil. That sounds kind of right though.
Yeah.
That's actually the ideal place to be during being on top of a roof of a grocery store. So you have all the resources you need, canned items below you. You could camp up with a sniper and just like pick off people and it's like, get off the parking lot or I'll shoot.
You better board that sucker up though, because they'll just throw a rock through that window, start taking stuff. What if a big herd of them came?
We're talking about zombies. I think you're talking about zombies. I think he's talking about people.
I'm just talking about picking off
I'm talking about people or zombies, whatever. I mean, people who act like that are pretty much zombies.
If the world goes to crap, like everybody's your enemy. Like The Walking Dead hit it on the head, like with how everybody like. You know how further into the season it was like people were the real problem, not even zombies. That's how it's gonna be if like everything went to crap. Everybody's gonna turn into like a selfish family first mode, kind of like with the toilet paper, you know. So camping out at a grocery store, you barricade the doors, and you just basically guard it. You know, you got Lee Summit in the back. You know,
put some dynamite by the doorway in case someone tries to come.
Some dynamite,
blows them up.
Dude. You could set up
like some Red Dead Redemption
all
stuff
the
right
parking
there.
lot.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
gosh.
I mean,
The way to go.
the toilet paper thing always got me weird. Like, if it came down to it, man, I would just jump in the shower after, you know.
Someone was telling me that.
Just jump in the shower, man. What you freaking out about for?
Yeah, you'll still get clean no matter what. I mean, if it got that bad, I'm gonna do that because I'm not gonna leave it there. If you get what I mean, I'm gonna be clean. We'll get it done.
You know those Nerf gun super soakers that like shoot out water? You could go the Japanese style and just go whoosh.
You just
All good.
You just get a super soaker and you like angle it into your toilet and you just like pump it up over here and just like
It's like,
it's clean. Time to
like
clean up.
hey dad, blast me.
Papa John, blast me up.
He like comes in with glasses, commando style. You're just like, all right.
He comes in with those fire hoses, what they do to prisoners when they first get there. He's
like
like,
a
all
power-
right, just
like a-
shoots you down.
It's like, bend over a power washer.
It like knocks you on the ground. You're just like rolling around. It's like, whoa.
Y'all wild.
That's a good way to get diarrhea because, like, you know when you're in a hot tub or something, you get a jet going up there. You're done.
Wait, what did you just say?
Golly boy.
Ooh, man.
What you been doing at the house, like during all this?
Honestly, nothing really has changed for me. I mean, I do take Northwest classes online now. Unfortunately, that kind of sucks because I'm not around anybody.
You hanging with anybody?
I mean,
We've been hanging.
I see. Yeah, I've been hanging out with Kyle. I've seen my friends from high school. Honestly, nothing's really changed. It's not like I'm barricading myself. I guess I'm not really self-quarantining at all.
Yeah, I think
I take school online. I still go to the gym. The club's still open.
You been going there?
Yeah. Do you not go?
Heck no, bro.
Why? It's under 10 people.
I don't care. That place nastier than a mug.
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
I
Yeah, that's the
will.
nastiest place.
I will give it to the club for fitness, dude. Like they clean hard. Or yes, they're not.
So
like some
what happens if you
gym.
get up there and there's already 10 people there?
You have to call in, right? That's what I heard.
you have to call in, but everybody's got the same like mentality as you just said. They're like, heck no, I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah.
So when you do go to the gym, there's no one there because everyone thinks that like there'll be germs, but there's actually no one there and it's actually safe. But insider information, I won't tell everybody that.
I like that. I think I'm going.
It's already
to the
out
gym
there
later.
now.
I've been going every morning, and there's no one there. It's very peaceful. They're still cleaning. There's usually like 3 people there. They clean the whole place. So yeah, I feel safe there, and I'm not really worried. Like you were saying, like if I get sick, I'm hoping I can fight it off. I do have asthma, so I could be
A
screwed.
little asthma.
I could
Yeah.
be a little screwed.
Yeah, that could probably hurt you. I think you're on the list of people actually like with the elderly and
What happens if you smoke?
infants of,
What
like,
happens if you
danger
smoke
list.
a pack of cigs every day?
I think you get lung cancer.
No, I'm saying, are you at higher risk?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You
Oh,
and me.
like that.
You and me are probably on the same.
Me? I didn't say anything about me. I don't smoke no pack of cigs.
Man, I hope you're not smoking a pack of cigs. He's smoking 10 packs of cigs.
I smoke about 4.5 cigs a day.
In the danger zone.
A little vape action.
Whoa. I mean, that could, I don't know. I have heard that since you're putting stuff like in the lungs, I mean, I don't know though. I haven't heard any research, so I got to be careful. But like, I know that you can get the corona in your lungs, so there is something going on there. You know,
I think it's
Yeah.
it's related to your lungs. It's like the coronavirus. That's where it attacks. Like your lungs are the first thing to like feel. Like you'll get like I've heard of cough. Dude,
Yeah.
did y'all hear about that girl in Hernando that got the coronavirus? She said she coughed up blood.
oh, I think you told me about that.
She
not too
coughed
long
up
ago.
blood, but it was actually because she took, I think it was ibuprofen. She took that when she was feeling symptoms, and that actually is like, it has like a,
It lowers your immune system, I think is what I heard.
I'm not really sure what it does. I'm no doctor, but it had some effect to where it was, it worsened the corona like virus, I guess. Or
I saw
it worsened the lungs.
I saw a
made her-
clip
yeah.
from a podcast someone sent me on Messenger, and I listened to the segment, and it said that what's come from Italy, he said it's a doctor in Italy sent him information that what they've been looking at is everyone who has the coronavirus, they're really bad, like ventilators and stuff like that, they had ibuprofen, and I think it was Advil inside their bloodstream. And they all had something like that in their bloodstream as it was bad for them. So he was saying, you know, this hasn't been confirmed in the United States, but like you're saying, I mean, I'm sticking away from those right now. I mean, if that's what accelerates it, I mean,
Who sent that to you?
I think it was Danae's mom, Debbie, sent it to me on Messenger.
Shout out to Debbie.
Yeah, shout out to Debbie on
So
Messenger.
if I'm having symptoms of the virus, then I should not take ibuprofen or Advil.
I would. It's not confirmed from the CDC.
Because all that
but
would do
I'm
is
not
lower
gonna
the
do that.
fever, right?
I would go pretty.
Right.
I'd go pretty natural. Like I'd say that's the best.
I drink those
actually.
emergency vitamin C.
Yep,
vitamin
those
C
are
blood.
good.
Yeah, go with that. That's what I've been doing.
I've been
Loading
taking
up on the
vitamin
vitamin
C,
C.
yeah.
Been loading up on zinc, stuff like that to boost my immune system.
I'll even get an orange from the back in produce. We're allowed to sample like new orange flavors or new oranges. So I've been taking advantage of that. I get a little blood orange, get a little sumo mandarin, get a big old knife, go, and then just eat that. Get that vitamin C organically or naturally.
There you go. Yep.
Oranges taste good too. Like there's so many different types. I love me some oranges.
I prefer a solid banana with some peanut butter.
Is there vitamin C in bananas?
Dude, I wonder if you
think
could
so.
live off peanut butter and bananas.
Probably a little bit, but I don't think it's known for it. It's more known for, potassium.
For potassium. Yeah.
But peanut butter has good. Peanut butter's good fats, good protein. So I'm guessing if you were stuck, bananas and peanut butter would be another
Solid
go-to.
meal. Solid meal.
So
Cheat meal too.
Yeah.
Bananas ain't gonna last long though. They're gonna be
Oh,
done
that's
in about
true.
2-3
Yeah.
days.
You have to get some of those baby like those Gerber meals.
Oh,
Get some of those.
that's actually
yummy.
That's actually. I mean, I hate to say this. That's actually another good idea. If you were gonna raid a grocery store, nobody would ever think to buy baby food
Yep.
or baby supplements or workout supplements. So
It's usually got all the nutrients and vitamins that are supposed to be like in there and everything. So,
ladies
maybe
and
you're all right.
gentlemen, you heard it here first. The key is to get baby food or
Gerber.
workout supplements.
In the apocalypse, you just see Javan just like with the dried powdered breast milk, just like it's like I need my vitamins, I need my minerals, and you're like,
my God.
whoa,
Lactation.
whoa.
Oh my gosh.
It's like Javan went to a whole nother degree. He's like, well, I need my calcium.
Gotta get my vitamins.
If I saw that.
Yeah,
Trouble.
I hope I don't see that.
What do y'all think about all these like conspiracy theories regarding the disease?
Nancy Pelosi released it on the world.
Oh,
it was-
well, I
it
heard
was
someone said it
Sleepy
was
Joe.
Trump's fault. I heard something about
Yeah,
that.
let's talk.
That's-
Let's talk about.
I've got a
that.
story for y'all real
So-
quick if we've got a minute.
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
go
with the
Go
story.
definitely.
All right, so I was in the grocery store the other day, and I was walking around, and this guy I know came up to me, and I just know him from work, working with him at work and stuff. So
Uh-oh.
me and him get to
Getting
talking.
closer than work.
He was like, "Man," he's like, "I just don't know what's going on nowadays. Sometimes I just wish Adolf would come back." And I was like, so at that
This
point,
dude
I
white?
was like, I knew the guy was weird. He's got PTSD or something, I think. So I knew the guy was weird, and I was like, oh man, all right, I got you. And I tried to walk away. He was like, as I was walking away, he's like,
Started
he's
again.
like, I look back and he's like, Oh, Adolf, where are you?
No, dude,
No, you kidding
you-
with me
Bro,
right
I'm
now.
not
serious?
lying to you. I'm not lying.
Where was
I've already
this?
told this story.
dude, was he like a white supremacist
Kroger.
trailer park dude?
Kroger?
No, he's just. I think he's weird. He's just a little crazy, man. And
Oh my gosh.
I know him from work, and he
He idolizes Adolf Hitler.
Where are you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he idolizes him or what he was.
This is what Adolf would do. He'd
Jeez.
pick a minority, blame them right now for the coronavirus, and he'd probably like kill people with the coronavirus. Well, that's what they did in Korea. I heard that the first they handled it so well in Korea because they just killed patient one, or like it's like. Yeah, so and so
Jeez.
isn't feeling too good today. Okay, I'll give him a visit. The government comes to his house. Open up.
Oh my god!
Just like with a
North
gun?
Korea?
I mean, I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh, North Korea.
It's
Okay, I was
North
like,
Korea's the evil one, right?
Yeah.
they're the communist
Evil
one.
empire.
I thought you were talking about like the South. I was like, they're like a democracy. They just walked in, and shot someone. I was like, that's kind of messed up right
I'm
there.
sure they're doing some shady stuff in China because if you notice the dude that blew the whistle on the whole coronavirus, like it getting leaked.
Oh yeah.
It was like back in November in China. The dude that he was a doctor. I think his name was Wuhan or something like that. He's dead from the coronavirus. Dead from the coronavirus after he blew the whistle on the whole thing. Now I think, well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just like Epstein hung himself.
Yeah, this is a
Oh,
conspiracy.
yeah, we're
this,
not sure.
This could have happened. This could not have happened. I'm not saying it's fact, but he appeared dead right after he announced that the coronavirus leaked from the town, which had a facility for viruses and where they make biological. I don't know about weapons, but they make like infectious diseases at that facility, and it started in that same town. So I'm thinking like it was chemically engineered. Because China wants to get rid of old people. That's like
They want to get rid of a lot of people right now.
Yeah,
and that too.
they have strict rules on kids, daughters.
Yeah,
I think.
they used to have
Like,
the
you can only have
one-child
one or two
policy.
kids in China.
It was one-child policy, but they got rid of that not too long ago, if I'm pretty sure. So
They've got like isn't like most of the world's or a large portion of the world is in China. Like they have a lot of
China
people
and
there.
India.
That's what
are,
I'm
like,
trying to say.
huge.
They have
Yeah.
like
China
we-
has like something billion, and then
China's
something
got
even
like probably
India.
what almost
billion. Wow.
almost 1.6 billion, and India's
Something like that.
India's right at a billion.
Yeah,
I think.
they're actually more than China. They're in the
Yeah.
billions
So
too, but they
China's
surpassed
double the
China.
US.
Yeah, they're huge. They got
India's a
giant
big country. If
population.
you look at it on a map, I mean that's sucker big.
I think it's bigger than China. I think
I
if
think-
you
I
actually
think
look
it
at a
might be.
real
I think
map
it
and,
might
and
be.
size
I think it's
comparisons,
third. I think it goes. Russia, Brazil, and then India.
that sounds probably about right. I know Russia's like one of the
Russia's
top ones because it's like
huge.
gigantic.
Russia's a waste.
And then Brazil, I think, is number 2.
That
and
sounds probably
India's
about
number
right.
3,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's bigger. I know the population is bigger than China.
Mm.
I just can't remember if it's actually bigger than China, like
So
the
you
actual
think this
country.
stemmed from Chinese wanting to kill people? Take it.
Well, I want see. Oh, did y'all see that thing about how like Trump was getting called racist because he called it the Chinese virus? That's what you just reminded me of. I think the government's. I wouldn't say Chinese people. Like the government, definitely the Chinese government is shady.
Oh, they're
like,
shady, all right.
yeah,
That's
they
why
kill-
I would,
they-
it would,
yeah.
it would, I'm not going to speculate on it because I really don't care to think about it a whole lot. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did do something fishy and did something like that.
Speaking
could-
of that,
yeah.
what you talked about, I think that's another thing that people can be listening in on as well right now is the fact that this has all gone down, and there's some people, instead of focusing on how can maybe we can look out for each other and look outward, and how can I maybe take care of someone who's in need right now, maybe someone who's a widow or the elderly, maybe someone who doesn't have a lot of contacts or a lot of friends, like
Someone
they're
who
in their
lost-
house.
Someone who lost their job or
Yeah,
ain't working.
yeah, I've already heard a couple people in our community have already pretty much lost their jobs right now.
You're working
and
Yeah,
at
that's
waiters,
rough.
wait- oh,
restaurants,
man.
Yeah,
bars, like,
um,
all those places, you ain't making.
There's another person we know in our friend group, and like he said, yeah, I've worked like one time this week, like it's almost gone. So like that's not me right now, and I'm blessed, but that's not everyone right now. And I just hate how we can maybe be focusing on helping some of those people, especially as Christians. I'm not telling anyone else if they're not a Christian to go do something according to our faith, but looking outward is still a good thing. But we're talking from our also from our faith perspective and looking out for the most needy. And then there's some people right now, instead of being focused on something like that, they're focusing on how to take advantage of this for political reasons.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I've even mentioned on here before, I'm not a giant Trump dude, honestly, and that's not what this podcast is even going to be about. But at the same time,
Politics.
yeah, at the same time, I just hate how this is being taken, while other people, like I just talked about, are suffering right now. That has become the focus instead. And I'm not saying don't look into politics at all. I just hate how that's a focus instead of, especially as a Christian, we're overlooking other people, and that's not a focus even within our communities. And the only thing we seem to be talking about is like who seems to be at fault. Or maybe you're talking about the Democrats or something on the other side of things, and that's all you're focusing on. And I just hate how that has become the norm for some people, and some people that you know I know as Christians, instead of, hey, how can we look out for each other? How can we encourage each other in this time? Because I know there's people over here who are either widows, they live alone, they're older, and they're isolated right now, or they've lost their jobs. And I just hate how we can't look out for some of them and have that as our focus as Christians, and rather it's all this political stuff and taking advantage of that. And I hate that. I hate that
It's gonna.
They wanna-
Who's gonna be the neighbor? Who's gonna be someone's neighbor?
right.
Like, who's gonna, like the Samaritan? Who's gonna help someone out even though you don't know them? They might be different from you. Who's gonna go out and do something else? I know we're supposedly getting a little bit of money coming in.
Yeah.
From the stimulus thing. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how to use that in the best way.
Mm.
Because I mean, honestly, I don't really need that money. Like, I don't even know why they're. I understand. They're just giving it to me, but I don't really need it. So I'll probably do something, try to help somebody out with it, or help a few people out or something. I don't know.
Well, it needs to be spent because that's the whole point of us getting
Yeah.
it. It pumps money into the economy, so
Yeah.
it keeps us like it doesn't put us into a recession, depression.
Yeah.
I'm no economist, but it's supposedly to prop up the economy in such a bad time when everybody's like saving or
Spend it on food, spend it
Yeah.
on gas, whatever you got to spend it on.
thank goodness for like people that rule against bank runs. You know, like that's what started the Great Depression.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
like raided the banks and wanted to get their money.
Yep.
Well, money can't multiply that way, so it's like you're killing the economy.
Well, even Dave Ramsey, he's one of the top financial guys, and I listen to him on YouTube, and I also got his podcast as well that I listen to. And even him, he is by no means someone who's paranoid and the hoarding like apocalypse. He's not in that mindset. But even he is saying, because of this reaction and people taking money out of the stock market, he said it can become, if this doesn't stop, become a recession. And if it continues even further and gets worse, can possibly be a depression for us. And he's just saying because of this overreaction of people. So I think if you don't need the money and you're way more secure, think about you could use that money to help other people. But even if you're in that spot where you're like, I don't know, I need to put this in the savings account and say I have no emergency fund, maybe you need to have that as emergency fund to take care of your family, because that's your unit, and that does need to be taken care of with food and stuff like that. And that
I don't have a family. Well, I don't have my family I have to take care of.
right.
So I'm in a different boat.
Because I'm thinking about maybe putting it into my emergency account so that I feel more secure myself. Because like even Dave says, when you have an emergency account and you feel safe and secure and you know you're going to be okay with emergencies, you start to look outward, because emergencies just become an inconvenience. And even if you put that in your savings, you could still help other people and use your finances, even though you didn't use that specific money, if that makes sense. You made yourself secure. Now you're like, oh, how can I look outward now? Money, if someone needs election money or something like that. Maybe you see some toilet paper and you take care of yourself for the week, but maybe you just grab one extra roll, not for yourself, but you know that there's someone else from your church community, school, college, and you're like, I know they're running low. And man, maybe you put like a little tag on there, looking out for you, love you, put it on their front doorstep or something. Like, let's start to think like that, in that mindset of how does someone need something right now? How can I take care of them and look out, shoot a text or a call or something like that out to some people that we know that are isolated or in need, or take care of their physical needs? Because even James says, what's the point of saying, I'm putting my own words right now, kind of paraphrasing. He says, what's the point of saying, oh, be well, be good, health and wealth to you, and then we walk off and don't take care of their needs? He says, your faith is useless. And if that's your reaction, it means nothing. So I think we need to think like that in this time. How can we take care of people's needs emotionally, psychologically, spiritually? I think that's really important. I think in this time right now is having that on our mindset and whatever that looks like. And I think that starts with asking God, how can I, with the finances that I have, where I am and within my budget, my relationships, my position in the church and whatever that is, relationships, how can I take care of people in my zone of influence? Who are those people and how? Help me to know that, because it's going to look different for everyone. Someone may be able to take that whole check and, man, you're going to use that whole thing on other people. That's awesome. Maybe you're more financially secure and it's just like that's a little bit more like chunk change to me. Whereas in someone else, like you're like, I may need to take care of myself with an emergency account with this. And that's cool. And then maybe some of that other stuff you do can be, it's not as much money, but we do need to remember, even Jesus said, look at those Pharisees, they're putting a bunch of silver in there. But he said, look at that widow. She put in a couple copper coins and she put in everything. And so it's not the amount, it's what's the sacrifice for us. And I think we need to know, what is our sacrifice? Because that's going to look different for me. It's going to look different for you, Javan. It's going to look different for you, Zach. But at the same time, are we sacrificing? Are we looking out for other people? That mindset.
It'd be really funny if you knew somebody was struggling, like your neighbor or somebody, and didn't have money to go to the grocery store, so you just rolled their house.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Because they're out of toilet paper.
Bro, that'd be.
I don't know what to say about that one. I guess you're.
I think that'd be pretty funny.
I don't know if Jesus would be proud of that move.
Pretty savage. Oh, you're out of toilet paper? Give it a fortnight. Give it a night.
I'll
wake up to a.
I'll let you do that.
Wake up to a rolled house.
I'll let you do that.
That'd be hilarious.
If they could reuse the paper, then.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
But what if it's raining? It rains on all the paper after you roll it. Then they have wet.
Are you going to say you're going to egg their house so then they can scrape it off and cook it for dinner too? There, Javan.
Oh, you're on the keto diet. Here's some eggs, and then just egg
get cans of soup and throw it through their window.
If my house gets egged by you,
oh, your heater's out. Let me set your house on fire.
Whoa, we just hit another degree right now. By the way, we are all just playing around right now.
I'm not.
Yeah. Javan's not. He's asking for the authorities to come down.
He's the pastor's son, by the way.
Whoa.
Yep, I'm just living out the stereotype.
They're gonna put him in containment here soon.
It's baptized you in blood.
Whoa. Y'all want to wrap this up with any closing comments?
Was there anything else? There's one thing that I was going to end with, a certain verse for everyone to have on their minds right now. Is there anything else you guys want to go over?
I'd just say pretty much what we talked about. Don't freak out, Just keep your faith. Know that everything's going to be taken care of by God. And just take necessary precautions. Like sometimes I think, this is a bunch of baloney, And I think a lot of it, the reaction to it is a bunch of baloney. But I'm still don't want to hurt anybody else because of anything I try to do. So that's really why I'm sort of doing some of the things I'm doing.
That's a good point. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Javan?
Little pro gamer tip. So if you want your immune system to be the most optimal, stay unstressed. Try to keep anxiety at a minimum. Try to keep everything organized. Be happy. Do things that make you happy. Now, it's all good for your immune system. So little tricks. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Silly rabbit.
A little rabbit action. The only thing that there was a couple things on my mind is today, especially, two things. I guess one of them is a story I definitely wanted to include, and then after that, it's kind of a reaction against that type of mindset. Was someone told me about, I don't remember what store it was in South Haven. So for anyone else to know, if you're not around here, South Haven is like the city right next to us, essentially. And someone told me, and I don't remember what store it was either, but it wasn't like Walmart or Kroger, but it was a grocery store. And you know how they have those signs right now where it says take one item, especially around the water and the toilet paper.
Yeah.
And so one guy went in there and he took the giant things of toilet paper, the 28ers,
Yep.
and he took 3 of them, and he took the last of them, and the sign says take 1. Well, a guy went up and said, "Dude, the sign says take 1, man," and he's like we're out of toilet paper, and he's like you shouldn't do that, and the guy's like, just get away from me, just and then he's like, no, he's like, that's not right. Their rules is take 1 thing, and there you are with 82 things of toilet paper in there, you're not, that's wrong. And so he went over to grab the toilet paper, and the dude pulled a knife and stabbed him.
Wait, in South Haven?
In South Haven. Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah. So
Is he all right?
I don't
See,
know.
this is
I don't
this
know.
is exactly
See,
what's wrong. All this hysteria.
That's
and
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Everybody going.
don't you tell me how much toilet paper
everybody
I'm
going
going to
nuts.
take.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody's
gonna take
losing
what I
their
want to.
mind.
Right. That's
There's only 70 cases in Mississippi right now, and everybody's losing their marbles.
that's what I'm saying is that reaction.
Get you a joker.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Losing their minds.
losing their minds.
we
I'm just ahead of the curve.
Go. So you see what I mean? That reinforces to me, I'm more fearful of people's reaction to this than, because we haven't even hit the peak yet, and then something like that's already happening near us. So I was also thinking, I was reading scripture
crazy.
today, and there's a verse, and I knew I've already read it before, but now it hit me even harder than previously, in the book of Habakkuk. And it's about, yeah, by the way, that is in scripture.
Little
Yeah.
cigarettes and Habakkuk.
Obadiah.
And so in this time frame, I believe it's the Assyrians, not the Babylonians, have come in. They've just wiped Israel. They've knocked them out, and they're just in poverty. They're in the worst. I mean, they're in apocalypse essentially. There's a food shortage. There's a wealth shortage. You don't have to take care of yourself, maybe to clothe yourself. It's way worse than what we're going through. It's the worst situation. That is their apocalypse essentially right now. In fact, a lot of the apocalyptic literature in scripture has to talk about Babylon and Assyria, actually, which is kind of interesting. But there's a part where at the end of what Habakkuk says, in the midst of all of this, and it really resonated with me of my mindset of what I should have as a Christian right now, in the midst of this fearful time. So it starts out as though the fig tree does not bloom, though there are no grapes on the vine, and the olive tree does not grow, and though the fields have no food, the sheep pens are empty, though the cattle stalls are empty. It says, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. My joy, I will rejoice in him. Yahweh, or the Lord, is my strength. He will make my feet like the feet of the deer, to tread, and also to tread the heights. And in that I guess I leave with everyone else, is that for us, that verse would be more like, though I go out and my car is not working, and I go out into the town and I don't have a job, and though I don't see anything in the grocery stores inside of my refrigerator, or I don't see any food in my cabinets, and I don't know how I'm going to get any more of that or income, I'm still going to rejoice in God. My joy is still found in him, and he is my strength. And I'll tread on the heights like a deer, like on a mountain. That's how strong I'll be. And I like that key part. That God is my strength, and that's not in those things that I find my strength. It's in him I do. And that's a worse situation than we're in, but some people, that's kind of where they're at. So I kind of leave that with everyone else as a verse of hope, and also maybe a way to handle some of this right now. So yeah, thank you for joining in with us today in this conversation on the disease And, you know, maybe we'll have doomsday apocalyptic
Mad Max.
podcast. And, you know, thank you for tolerating our interesting humor at times. And hopefully you got something out of this, way you can deal with it. You know, we try to be a little humorous, as it's kind of a hard time to kind of cope with it a bit. But yeah, we want the best for you in this time. We'll be praying for you. And we also, if you got anything out of this, remember also to hit the like button, subscribe to us, and hit the bell button. It just reminds us that what we're doing is helpful. You get something out of it, and also shares it with people that are very similar to you. So, yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.